The Monsters Playbook is an adventure podcast for grown-ups. It contains violence and profanity and deals with adult themes that may be uncomfortable for some listeners. Specific content warnings can be found in the episode's show notes. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to The Monsters Playbook, an actual play Monster of the Week podcast where the silly becomes scary, the scary becomes silly, and I become a series of increasingly weird little guys. This week on the cover story, it's the final showdown with Tower, or whatever she's become, to reclaim the Witchwood and save Gad. That's easier said than done, however, because Tower isn't alone in here. Between her minions and the unscrupulous, unliving Oscar Hendrickson, there's an awful lot to fight through.
I'm John, and I play Mark Clayton.
I'm Lauren, and I play Kira and Anna Ashwood.
I'm Miah, and I play Theo Nessos.
I'm Johnny, and I play literally everybody else. It's time to finish this. Before we get back to where you guys were, we have some level ups to deal with.
Hey.
Yes, we do.
For everybody. So who wants to start?
The level up that I took for Theo was to add 2 more rotes to my playbook, and I've only figured out one at the moment. Johnny, you and I had kind of discussed this. Create a rote called Astral Vision. If I remember correctly, on a 10+, I get to choose either a clear vision and a +1 forward to try and get there in time, or a cloudy vision and a +1 forward once there. On a 7 to 9, it's a cloudy vision, and you and myself each have 1 hold to use against each other in this situation once there. And then on a miss, it's bad and you're bad. Whatever that means. It's vague. The only thing we hadn't really discussed is like what requirements for this rote.
So I like blood. I think you'll have to take that blood and smear it over both of your eyes. While you are enduring this vision, you cannot open them. And yeah, there will be words.
Okay.
So Mark Clayton leveled up last time. He is gaining an ability called Gain a Lesser Divine Being as an ally sent from above to help with your mission. So I don't know exactly what that means yet, but Johnny will let me know.
Anna leveled up last time also, and she is going to take a move from another playbook. And the playbook and move she is going to take this from is from the Pararomantic, and she is going to take the move Spirit Touched. Your experiences have made you sensitive to the supernatural. When you sense magical things, roll + weird. On a 10+, you can sense them fully. On a 7 to 9, choose. Either sense them fully, but they notice you too, or you sense only impressions.
So where were we?
So then here you are at the exterior of this kelp forest and in front of the mouth of this cave. Sort of standing between you and it is, yes, huge, odd Oscar Hendrickson leaning against a hefty walking stick. Off to one side, here comes Tower, still wearing the obnoxiously arcane robe that you remember her from last time. And then she is, yes, accompanied by her 2 henchmen. The young man with the goblets and the metallic knight with the winged helmet and the mustache hammered into it. What do you do?
Well, first of all, what are they doing? Are they just like standing there? Like, or are they like looking like they're prepared to fight us? Like, what's their vibe?
Threatening.
Okay, Anna's gonna shoot.
I love this idea of like, what's the vibe? Oh, I don't like it. Bang.
Pretty much. Actually, no, she's not going to shoot. She's going to throw the fucking bombs that they still have right at Tower. If you remember, we had like little grenade bombs.
Yep. Roll kick some ass.
14 advanced move.
Holy jeez. Okay, pick your improvement. Mark, you had a question?
Can I inspect the shield to find out something I don't know about it?
Roll read a bad situation.
6.
Oh, John.
Starting off strong.
You think if you flipped it upside down, it would look more like a vase is drawn on it.
How much? Did we establish how much harm these things do? I don't think we ever set an amount.
Oh, you're talking about the...
Oh, the grenades.
Yes.
No.
Okay. So I'm deciding if I should just do double the harm or if I should. It's not ongoing. I think I'm going to do double the normal harm.
Okay. Which one are you kind of aiming more for?
Tower. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you hurl this grenade and it like bounces and slides to rest at her feet. And as she was like not really paying much attention to you, she looks at you, then looks down at her feet and starts to say something. But then there's just this huge flash of light.
Yeah.
It does look like confetti, but metallic confetti just like explodes out. A bunch of them bury themselves in her robe and like stick in as though they've pierced her skin. And then in a radius of about a 15-foot diameter sphere coming up off the ground, there just is this like somebody shook a snow globe.
Okay.
It's not quite a barrier. It's just all filled with these little metallic bits.
She took harm though, right?
Yes.
Great. I think it goes off and then Anna looks her right in the eyes.
Well, you can't look her in her eye because she has her hands over her face. 2 of her hands anyway.
Perfect. Well, then I think she'll just scream at her and be like, "Did you see that coming, bitch?"
Oh, God.
Mark is going to raise his gun that he acquired early on with the petrified wood.
Yep.
Katoosh at Tower.
Roll kick some ass.
13 advanced move.
God damn. Pick your bonus.
Do more harm.
You double the harm.
So I don't know why, but I do have a very clear idea of how you guys are arrayed. The first thing that happens is, you
Katoosh.
fire this thing, it's got a hell of a kick, and this spear just sails quick and true and pierces Tower right in her center mass.
Mark looks down at his gun. Holy shit.
She has her hands over her face. Another arm comes out from under her robes, grabs the wood, and breaks it.
Oh.
The young man, I am imagining him sort of across from you, so he will like rush towards you.
How far is he away from me?
Closing in, I think, maybe a little more than 20 feet at this point.
Okay. Can I run at him?
You sure can.
That's a bad idea, Mark. I think if you start rushing towards him, Kira's going to be like, "Mark, he's here for you. This one will hurt you."
I think Mark kind of slides in the dirt to a stop, kind of breathing really heavily. Okay. And then kind of like starts running back the opposite direction. I think as Mark is running back, he's going to spin around and just like throw his arm in front of him and try and lay a field of fire basically in front of him.
Well, the first thing I'm going to need you to do is roll act under pressure.
9.
Can I help out since I gave him that warning?
Yes.
You're like, damn it makes sense.
There's a narrative reason for it.
My desire for your punishment is outweighed by my desire for a good story.
Okay, so that is only a 7, but it's an 11 now because I have helping hand.
So, Mark, I think with that roll, you are going to have to get physically involved because Mark sort of spins around, took a couple of steps away, and then spins around to run back. You notice that the boy with the cups is not close enough quite to hit him, but he does take one of the cups and go to splash Mark with it, that will hit him unless you get him out of the way. So you grab Mark bodily and throw him behind you back to the rest of the people, and this liquid from this cup actually splashes onto you. Everything goes dark.
Great.
It hits her, and then you see this sort of cloud of smoke hovering right in front of her eyes.
In front of Kira's eyes.
And then Mark wanted to put up a barrier. Roll to use magic.
11.
Okay. That happens. There is just a line of the ground just sort of superheats, and then about, I'm going to say like 4 or 5 feet up, there's just this wall of fire between you and her.
So when I spin around, do I see her?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
She's like, shoving a finger in her eyes to clear them. And then she looks at the knight, nods towards the wall of fire, and he will start to gallop towards it.
I'm going to go after her and be like, hey, we need to go. What are you doing?
Fuck. And she's like,
You hear Mark's voice.
I can't see.
He's right next to you.
Yeah, there's something going on magical. Come with me. Let's get back a bit.
Okay, so Mark pulls me back. Can Anna try to use her new move to see if she can sense what this like spirit, whatever's going on with Kira?
I do. Let's have Anna roll spirit touch. Let's take it out for a test drive.
But she is like fully conscious, right? She's not like.
Yep, she's up and about, just lost in the darkness.
Yeah, she's awake. I just can't see. I just got Matt Murdocked. That's a good reference. Wasn't it even acid that got him? You said it was kind of like acidic from the cup.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. What's my weird? 10 for spirit touched.
Okay.
So I can sense them fully, whatever that means. I almost kind of think like when she opened her eyes that one time, like using like Iniko's senses, I think it's kind of like the same thing. Like she's trying to open up her senses. I don't know.
You know 100% this is one of the effects of that young man's cup. Each one of them has a different effect to it.
Cool. Do I know how to remove that effect? Do I get any sense of that?
What you can tell is that the sort of continued activity of the spell or phenomenon is still connected to and being powered by the cup itself.
Okay. How do I destroy the cups?
Via destruction.
Okay.
By way of violence.
I choose violence always. All right. I think Anna would maybe shout out then. Destroy the cups. Be careful. They're fucking magical bullshit.
Okay.
Kira hears that piece of information from Anna. She'll be like, Ruby, somebody attack those cups. Throw some magic at it or something. I'm fucking useless right now. Does Anna know of a spell that would functionally from the use a magic spell to contain a creature? I forget what the actual thing it is on the use magic. One of the effects of use magic is that you can trap a specific person, minion, or monster. So I'm wondering if she would know a spell that would do that.
I'm going to have you roll Investigate a Mystery to see if you can have researched that.
Okay, John apparently has
Mark
an idea.
appears almost desperate to speak.
Can I put a hex on this individual?
Oh, yes, you can.
Wow, Anna rolled smart. She rolled a 10.
That's smart, Anna.
Yeah.
10.
Nice. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to resolve Anna's roll first. So you wanted to know if you know a spell to contain,
contain, restrain. Because she knows like abjuration and like that kind of magic pretty well, but like a lot of her stuff takes a lot of time. So she's wondering if there's like a quick and dirty magic trick that would allow her to do it quickly.
You know what? You know the druid spell Entangle from Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
The risk that you will run is technically druidic magic like that uses, well, one, the power of the earth, which you are not on, and two, the power of living things, which maybe those things are, hopefully. But yeah, you could reach back behind him and have a bunch of the kelp from that kelp forest basically climb forward at dizzying speed and wrap around him and stop him from moving, or whoever.
I think Anna's gonna try it, but I don't think she's gonna attack the cards people because she remembers that Kira tried to life drain and there was nothing there.
First, Mark, you cast a hex. You wanted him to break something precious?
Yeah.
Okay. The bad news with that is that you don't get to choose the precious thing.
I know.
So he will be like sort of futzing with his cups as if to decide which one to try to use next. And yeah, one of them will slip out of his grasp. You know how on the bed of like a river or the sea, it's mostly like sand, but then occasionally there's just like a big honkin' rock? Well, you know all about this, Mark. You know where there's rocks sometimes. The cup like lands right on this serendipitously placed sharp rock, and it just shatters. And from the sort of remaining bottom part of this cup, some really delicious looking green liquid just flows and flows and flows. And the young man is crestfallen, and he falls to his knees and tries to scoop it up and get it back together, but he's got 3 other cups in his hand and he can't do it. And he's like, ah.
How far away is he?
Like 20 feet.
I was going to say, would I be able to like seize the opportunity?
You'd be diving through a wall of fire, but yes.
Yes. I think
you can also teleport.
Kira, you still can't see anything.
This is true. Mark is smarter than just running through fire.
Is he?
Probably not. I think Mark is gonna take out his sword and go for a swing.
Okay, walk through fire and roll kick some ass. Hey, Mark. I know you're in the middle of something right now.
No.
But what'd you roll?
A 6.
All right. So Mark, you run in and you raise up your sword, and as you're a few steps away from him, and he looks up at you, and like down his like brassy skin is flowing just these dark lines of tear streaks. And he goes, "You did this, didn't you?" And he like makes as if to splash you with another one of his cups, but no liquid comes out. What comes out instead is a bolt of lightning.
Oh, fun.
And you are like frozen for a second as the current of this thing goes through you.
Oh God, John.
You will take 3 harm, minus any armor he has.
So Kira had yelled to Ruby to attack the cups. Does Ruby attack the cups? / can she attack the cups? Or do something with magic to attack the cups?
She sure can.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark will still have to have done that because it is going to take a bit for the boy to stomp his way over there.
So, 1, can Anna do that spell that she was going to do?
Yes.
And 2, can Ruby kick some ass?
Yes and yes. Let's have you do that in that order. Roll magic for Anna and then roll kick some ass on the boy's behalf.
Okay, so that is a 10 for use magic.
Okay.
So I want to do that effect.
You want to restrain whomst.
Tower.
Okay. So yes, as you'll recall, when she and they sort of came through it, they like parted it and all of this kelp fell to the ground. A bunch of it will like start slithering snakily towards her. And some of it will like also sort of rise up as if to pounce. And yeah, it will climb up encircling her ankles and calves. And then some of it will wrap itself around her shoulders and midsection and around her throat. And she's now restrained.
Okay. And then Ruby was going to attack these cups.
Yep. Roll, kick some ass.
That's an 8.
Okay. So the boy, this huge hulking golem thing, stomps through that wall of fire, stomps around Mark. Almost as if to say, "Excuse me," stomps towards this young man with the cups, stands up, and the boy brings back one of his huge arms. The kid splashes him again with the same cup that he just got Mark with. So a bolt of lightning is going to hit and then like rake across the boy's chest. But then he's just going to bring down his arm like a hammer, smash the young man's head into the ground. There's this huge fist out of which is sticking like the lower back and legs of this guy, and like his arms are sticking out of either side. And then the boy will sort of lift up his arm again and then turn back to Ruby as though looking for more directions. And the young man moves to prop himself up. For the rest of you, so the knight is bounding towards you, leaps over and through this wall of fire, but then just runs past all of you. Cheshire, who spends most of his time on Ruby's shoulder, like hisses and spits something fast and sharp, which like flies through the air and appears to bounce harmlessly off the hindquarters of the horse as it runs past.
So the horse has run past.
Yep, and is running sort of around the side of the cave. Theo, let's talk about you.
Okay.
You can hear the distinct sounds of battle elsewhere, the also distinct sound of Mark's fire, the also quite distinct sound of thunder a couple of times in pretty rapid succession. And then some of that thunder sort of resolves itself into the pounding of hooves of a horse getting closer and closer to you.
Is Theo investigated where she is right now? Like, or did she?
We haven't done that yet.
Let me tell you where you are. Where you had snuck around and off to, like you'd been on very extremely flat ground this whole time, but you came upon like a crag sort of, so you've been climbing up that. It too is the same kind of dull, lifeless gray as most things here are. So you're on relatively stable ground, I guess. You're at quite a bit of an incline and everything is very craggy. What do you want to do?
Do I see this other entrance to the cave?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm gonna just try and, I guess, move faster.
Roll act under pressure.
That's gonna be a 10.
Okay. So you scramble your way up and around this sort of craggy outcropping, and you get to what appears to be like the peak of it, which will give you the chance to, one, get on the other side of it so that you won't be sort of in view of whoever it is that's chasing you, and two, gives you a straight shot at what does appear to be kind of a hole in the ground through which there's very dim, I'd say like flickering firelight visible.
What I would like to do is use magic to bar people from entering this hole in the ground.
Okay.
I kind of imagine that Theo would probably cut her hand and like sprinkle her blood around it. Maybe also sprinkle kind of like, with like salt and ghosts, but like maybe like tree bark, since that seems to be like a thing with their
Roll use magic.
14 advanced move. I'm sorry, it's one of my practitioner moves, Jonny. I'm really, really good at it.
Okay. I think as you do that, there is just sort of the vague hum of sort of a magical spell being executed. Nothing seems to change in your vision, but you are aware that something will change to the vision of any non-human thing. And then the extra thing that I'm going to give you is once you get in there, whatever odd senses it's been using to track you won't work.
Okay. I almost imagine like Theo like jumping down into this hole a second later. This like knight appears or something.
Yeah, you can hear it definitely coming up and like scraping of hooves as it's going up this crag, and then you dive into this hole, and then the winged helmet of this knight peeks over the top, and then it pulls up short and stops and looks in all directions as though it's lost a trail, which of course it has.
I was gonna ask like how big is this hole, or
I mean, like it's big enough to like sort of squeeze through. It's probably only a couple of feet of diameter, and it's in the ground. So you really, literally, you are dropping into this thing.
Cool.
Roll act under pressure.
9.
Okay. Worst situation or difficult choice. So yeah, you can either land painfully but quietly, or safely but noisily.
Painfully but quietly. I'm
Okay.
assuming that ignores armor.
Yeah, you just will straight up take one harm. You land hard and like twist your ankle.
Yeah.
Sick. Okay. So yes, inside, it's pretty clear when there was water running through here, this place was cleared out by water. The floor is quite uneven, which is why you landed so weird, as though there had been a stream flowing through here. The only way forward is the source of that flickering firelight. Quite dim indeed. And the way through there is also a little narrow passage that you would have to sort of go through sideways. Roll read a bad situation.
Would I be able to, because I was planning on opening up my third eye. Could that be this?
Oh, okay.
7.
Okay, you get 2 questions.
What magic is being used in this cave?
Beyond the narrow doorway, there is a summoned avatar. A kind of, it's not really a homunculus because it isn't like a built body, but it is like some sort of power given form.
What's the best way to protect Gad?
Deal with that avatar. Get rid of it or get it out of here.
Okay. Also, with the third eye, I get to see invisible things. Are there any invisible things?
There are not any invisible things.
Okay, cool.
Now what?
I guess try and squeeze through this narrow opening as quietly and carefully as possible.
Okay, roll act under pressure, please.
That'll be a 13 advance move.
You're little and you're spry, and so you squeeze through this thing, tiptoe up to the edge of the cave, sort of goes and turns off to one side, and you can see inside that room that sort of low flickering firelight is not coming from a fire, but is in fact coming from a person? ? You can see leaning pathetically against the wall on the far side of this cavern, which is pretty big. I'd say maybe 25-ish feet. Wait, what?
25-ish feet?
Yeah, it's like a big room.
Oh, I thought you were saying this avatar was 25-ish feet. And I
Oh,
was like,
holy shit.
I was like, just pretty big, just a casual 25 feet.
Yeah.
No, this chamber is about like 25 feet away from you, leaning pathetically against the far wall is Gad. You can tell that the cavern opens up to the left, but then standing vigil, looking out towards that in the other direction, is this sort of on fire person. His whole body appears to be just like coal black, but he looks like a professor. He looks like he's got dorky tweed jacket. He looks like he has little glasses, but nothing is really made of the same features or form or material anymore because all of him is black as coal. and just giving off this like dying flame light. Mark, Kira, and Anna.
Okay, so tower is restrained. How are any of these cups destroyed?
1.
One of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, question. Can Kira, it's kind of weird, can Kira sense, like, with her life drain, like, where bodies are?
You might have to be more specific.
Like, almost like a sixth sense for her. Like, can she, like, feel it, like feel the palpable, like, life energy in the air?
Roll use magic. I see what you're saying now. I thought there was like a dead body you were going to try to find.
No.
I don't think you have body sense.
14, advanced.
God damn.
This is the second 6 and a 5 I've rolled tonight.
And it's a good thing you made a Matt Murdock reference because, yeah, it does look a lot like that. Like you can see the sort of like, you can't see things, like you can't see the ground or rocks.
But it's almost like I can feel magic.
Yeah, but there's like now a bunch of fuzzy human shapes. Or, well, not fuzzy. They're quite in focus indeed. And you can tell that there is Mark and you can see his like soul energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think roll read a bad situation because I want to see how specific I want to get on stuff.
8.
Okay. So yeah, you can see Tower's energy is out of control. It's crazy. You even have to like adjust the brightness settings on your senses when you look at her. You can see the outline of the big golem thing, the boy, but its only glow is like a teeny tiny candle flame right in the center of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's standing over nothing at all. And yeah, other than that, you can see everybody else normally. The only other odd thing that you will get, the dog, instead of where it's got like a ceramic mask over where its eyes would be. But when you look at it, you see a full human head sticking up out of that and like looking around.
Don't like that. Okay, I think then Kira's gonna reach out with her life drain powers and attack Tower.
Okay.
Am I still frozen?
No, you are now mobile. So the boy is looking back to Ruby for instructions on what to do. And the guy with the young man with the cups is his head and shoulders are smashed flat, but he is standing himself back up.
I think Anna would attack that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna run after the knight that was going for Theo.
Okay. Roll act under pressure, and Kira roll to do that thing to Tower. Anna roll to do whatever you want to do to the
13 advance move.
God damn.
That is a 10 to kick some ass for Kira.
Okay.
Fuck, Anna. 14 advance move.
Does anyone happen to have a D4 near them?
I do.
Okay, then Lauren, I will have you roll a D4 for reasons that I do not care to explain.
Love this. 3.
Okay. So in rapid succession, Mark, and I think part of what that advanced move is going to mean is Lowry, seeing you run off, is going to run with you and sort of, I think he's going to grab your hand and run with you and sort of drag you faster. That for some reason he's
got preternatural speed move.
Yeah, he's much faster than you and he's making you faster.
Thanks.
You will very momentarily catch up to the knight. Kira, pick your advantage to the kick some ass roll.
I think just the nature of what it is, I think she's going to inflict terrible harm. So 4 harm.
So you do that and you can see her like writhing in pain and struggling against being bound up. And the other arm that she had used to break off the piece of wood that Mark had shot into her atrophies and withers, slumps to one side.
Dope.
Is Anna attacking just with her shotgun?
With her staff, I think.
Okay.
If you remember, she had enchanted it, so I think it's maybe got a little bit of a magic buff to it. Well, it does. It has +1 damage. But
Okay.
as the tags say, the staff is magical and it ignores armor.
Oh, okay.
So it's 4 harm because +1.
Well, if that's the case, then I think... Okay, so this guy's getting up. He's down to 3 cups, 1 in one hand, 2 in the other. And Anna brings down her staff on one of his wrists and snaps the hand off, making the 1 cup in that hand also fall to the ground, which she then smashes with the staff. And Kira, you can see again.
Oh, fuck yes. Okay. She's looking around, kind of taking in her surroundings. I think she sees Mark running after Theo with Lowry. I hate to ask, but what is Oscar doing? Is he kind of just like hanging back?
Yes.
Okay. Can Kira maybe read a bad situation or investigate a mystery? I think she wants to figure out what's going on with Tower. That like weird energy that was off the charts. I'm wondering if she could either use Dark Past or investigate a mystery to figure out if she can kind of see what's going on here.
I'm going to say investigate a mystery.
Okay. 9.
Okay. Ask one question.
I think I want to know, how can we hurt her, and kill her, as in making sure that she's gone for good type thing. Because, that life dream seemed to have done something, but I don't know,
You want to know what her weakness is?
Essentially, yeah.
How nice should I be?
Really nice.
She's sort of made herself part of the sea now. So you'd need something that can damage the sea itself, that could cut through the sea itself.
Okay.
Also, after a few seconds, that withered hand, the fingers will begin to twitch and flex.
Something that could damage the sea itself?
Mm-hmm.
That's so vague.
I know. Mark, you and Lowry can clearly see coming up the night. It's a ways off, and I don't think it's spotted you quite yet, and you are just barreling towards it. What's the play? What's the approach?
I'm going to run at it with my shield and have my sword drawn behind it, just kind of leading just in case I need to move it out of the way and hit him. So kick some ass, I guess.
Kick some ass.
That would be 12. Advancement.
Okay. What advantage are you going to take?
I'm going to do more harm again.
Okay. So you rush at this thing, and as you approach it, we'll sort of bring the horse around and face you and also square off with its shield and its big lance and run at you as well. And I think you both just sort of crash into each other. You slash at the horse's shoulder. He gets you with the lance. You would take 2 harm, but I think that all gets reflected by your armor. And so you did how much to him?
My sword is 3 harm, handfire holy.
Okay. I think actually, if that's what you're doing, you're going to hit the horse in the shoulder and you're going to hit the knight in one of its legs. And 2 things will happen. 1, both of those wounds will be burning.
Stay away from her.
2, oh, Mark. But the other thing that I want you to sort of notice is that the lance this thing is holding and actually the horse that it's riding are all a part of it. There's no separation between any of the pieces of this rider.
Well, that's weird.
What else, Mark?
Sorry, just recap. What state is he in right now?
You put 2 slashes on him that are both on fire.
And does that seem to have...
Seems to have hurt it a bit. Well, a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's going to take out his gun after having had such great success with Tower. And at close range, take this, you son of a bitch.
Okay, shoot it with a gun. Roll kick some ass.
7.
Okay. The horse rears up and with both of its front hooves as you sort of switch to your gun will land on you.
Am I able to get the gun up in front of me as he's coming down on me?
Yes. Still going to land on you, which will be 3 harm. So 1.
Thank you.
What kind of gun is this? Is this a Magnum?
No, this is the wood one, right?
Oh, that gun. Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Yes. You fire this gun and the spear goes through the horse's belly and up into the rider. And then it comes to land on you and actually can't quite stand up, so it falls on you also.
Am I strong enough to roll this thing off of me?
Don't you have in holy strength or?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Okay, roll plus tough or plus weird.
9.
So you are able to get it up off of you sufficiently so that you don't take additional harm from it crushing you. So then there is a flash of pale blue light from over one of your shoulders. Then you hear a metallic clink and a liquidy squelch. And you see Lowry has a spear of his own buried in the side of this knight. And he's shoving with his foot, just kicking, rolling the whole thing off of you.
Oh, thanks, man. Shit's heavy.
Don't know how I did that, but I'm glad I did. And he holds out a hand to let you up.
I grab his hand and kind of pull myself up. Thank you, seriously.
Then he looks at the spear that he has and he goes, I don't know if it's me that you should be thanking. And he goes to show it to you. And at the base of the like huge blade on it, a small insignia that is poking out of the center of this circular object, there are 2 pairs of wings, like a crest. So totaling 4.
Cute.
I think Mark just kind of nods. Catch real. And then he's just like, he snaps out of it for a second. Theo.
All right, brother. Let's find your girl.
Investigation roll to find Theo?
Absolutely.
9.
It will take you a while. Speaking of Theo, so you are still hidden. I think you can't tell whether Gad is breathing or not.
Cool. Great.
What's the move?
Do I see the Witchwood in this room?
No.
So, because I'd used, with the help of the Star King, had looked into this cave, and originally it kind of looked like Gad's essence was being sucked into the Witchwood.
Mhm.
That's changed now?
Yes, nothing seems to be actively draining him right now.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. Is the walking stick that Oscar has look like it's the wood?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a pale birch.
Yeah. Great. You think you're so sly.
I do. I am.
I would like to summon these soul blades.
Okay. Roll it.
8. So I only have one of them, and in my notes it's the left hand.
Yep.
I guess. Where did you say that this form was like looking? Like, are they paying attention to Gad or no?
No, they're paying attention to whatever's sort of beyond where the cave opens up.
Okay. I guess I'm going to, as quietly as possible, sneak to Gad. I think what I actually want to do is use glamour to maybe make myself seem, maybe like blend into the shadows a little bit more.
Okay.
Please.
Roll that.
That's a 6.
Okay. So you definitely make yourself super invisible. Like, it's weird how easy it was. Like, you thought you did some of the stuff wrong, but it still worked anyway.
I just like re-cut open the like wound that I had. And like, I'm like, oh, this is great. This is fine.
Yeah, but the very first step you take into this other cavern, this form will burn just a little bit brighter and then turn its head to look right at you. And it'll just sort of sharply reach out with its left hand and like jerk upwards as though it's lifting something. And the ground beneath you is suddenly incredibly hot. Roll act under pressure.
Oh no. Would I be able to use force of will to dispel this magical effect?
Eventually, roll act under pressure.
8.
You sort of are standing there, and for a second, this isn't computing. You're invisible. What's going on? Can this thing like see things that aren't visible? And what's it doing? Hang on. I think is it casting a spell? What spell is it casting? My feet are hot. Why are my feet hot? I have to jump away. And you go to leap away, and this pillar of flame erupts from right where you had been standing. It will burn the hell out of your right foot, which, yeah, I think is the ankle you twisted on the way in here.
Cool.
And it will take your shoe. Like, your shoe just vaporizes.
Oh, I love those boots. Okay. How much harm do I take?
2.
Ignore armor or?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I think Theo like leaps and like kind of like hops on her other good foot and like reaches for like the wall
And like
for
has
support.
to pat out the ankles of your jeans because they are on fire.
Okay. Well, that's cool. And Theo's gonna like just throw a pillar of lightning at them.
Roll it.
8.
Okay. So you do that, and it's going to also like eat that hit in the shoulder and then pull back with its left arm and hurl a fireball at you. It would do 2 harm, but that does not ignore armor.
Okay.
Mark, you and Lowry hear like a thum and then a crack of thunder. You look at each other and you know exactly where you need to go. Anna and Kira.
I think, meanwhile, Anna is going to try to destroy another one of these cups.
Roll kick some ass, Anna.
And honestly, Kira might help out with the other one because there's 2 left, right?
Of the cups, yes.
I think they're going to try to tag team and neutralize this guy, hopefully.
Okay, Anna roll kick some ass, Kira roll help out.
Fuck, Anna! 14 advance
Well,
move.
goddamn.
Yeah, I think her advantage to kick some ass will be double the harm.
Okay. Do you have that D4 handy again? Will you roll it?
It's a 2?
Okay.
Oh, I wonder. I have ideas. Are you being quite literal with what can cut through the sea?
Am I?
I wonder if he means the sky.
Yeah, could be.
Because where does the sea meet the sky? Cuts in, yeah. Fucking riddles.
Did Kira roll help out? I am going to have you do that anyway.
It's just 13 advance move.
Goddamn. Okay. Kira, what are you fighting with these days again?
She has her axe.
Okay. So I do think there's some more of the sort of staff fencing, and Anna manages to knock loose another one of these cups, which she then smashes on the ground, which erupts into like a mini spark, bunch of lightning dissipating. And then he rears back with fury, his smushed face distorted into a sneer, putting all he can into this one last throw. And he's wound up, and he's got his arm behind him, and Kira chops it off.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Lovely.
And then I do want, literally, as that one drops and shatters, a puff of dark purple smoke rises and forms itself into a skull and then evaporates.
Dissipates. Cool.
Yeah. The smashed and handless form of the young man, just as though it suddenly has turned into a poorly balanced sculpture of a smashed young man, just clanks to the ground.
Okay. Sweet.
And Tower gets her arms free.
Okay.
Mark, you and Lowry help each other lower yourselves into this cave. You can see the flickering. You squeeze yourselves through this little passageway, and you see Theo, down to one shoe, trading spells with a burning ash man.
Theo is going to just sprint to Gad.
Okay. Roll act under pressure.
I think Mark, seeing how his gun has been doing with all of these foes, decides to pull that out first this time. Stay away from her!
14 advance move.
Okay.
I'm also wondering that when I get to Gad, if I could just throw up a...
No, yeah, you can puke.
You just throw up.
If I could put up a domed wall of force around the two of us.
I will make you roll for that if that's what you want to do. With an advanced move, you do the thing, and then I give you something else. The other thing is once you do this, Gad will wake up.
Okay, I rolled a 9.
Pick a glitch.
I'm gonna use my Ancient Magic's move to negate this glitch, but I will take -1 forward.
Okay. And Mark, roll kick some ass to shoot the thing.
I just rolled 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Advanced move again.
Gunga damn. Pick your improvement.
Do more harm. Gadoosh.
Okay, so Mark, you see Theo's run around the perimeter of this guy and this chamber, dodging these small, like, little almost mini eruptions that are going up behind her, and she's jumping just in time for each one, and actually, like, baseball slides over to this form that you just now noticed leaning against the far wall, and throws up the sort of trademark shimmer of one of her walls of force. And you, screaming, stay away from her while this is happening, fire your stake gun, and you're doing double the harm.
Double harm.
So 2 things are going to happen, and the second will follow as a direct result of the first. The first thing that happens, that stake will bury itself in between this thing's shoulder blades, and the force of that will send him spinning forward to land on his face. But he will, like, get himself up to all fours position.
As he's getting up to all 4 position, can I try to stab him with my blade?
Yeah, roll kick some ass again.
7.
Can Lowry help?
Kind of. So here's what happens is it takes you longer than you think to get there because you're expecting to be Lowry speed and aren't. So he will be able to stand up before you can get to him. But then you do, I think, sort of bury your blade kind of next to where this spike is sticking out of the front of his chest. But he kind of takes advantage of that and, like, grabs your wrist and pulls you in closer, which he puts sort of the palm of his hand over your right eye, which will crush your sunglasses. I think the good news is that because you are armored and somewhat have affinity with fire, you will, after everything, only take 1 harm. It would have been a lot worse, but you're you. And I think you're going to have a pretty gnarly scar.
There's an upside to all this.
The good news is you're disfigured.
Gnarly not isn't cool. Gnarly isn't.
Yeah, you can feel and hear and smell the
Ew.
skin and eyebrow.
No.
You just got like
Ew.
Lord Voldemorted in the first Harry Potter movie.
Ow.
Yeah.
How's Gad looking?
Rough. He looks like...
Like, is he stable or no?
No, he looks like... I mean, the adjective that comes to mind is malnourished.
He's been drained.
Yes.
I would like to use my 1 stars align hold to stabilize Gad.
Okay. How does that look?
The image that popped into my mind is that Theo's arms kind of turn into and look like almost like a night sky and just like glittery with stars that then like drain and run into Gad. And I think just, yeah, kind of cover him and maybe evaporate into him and heal him.
I think it starts with your eyes, or at least the eye that's still your own, that you sort of close them, and when you open them again, yeah, it is a sea of stars within you. And then it literally physically bleeds down your face, across your shoulders, through your arms, and into your hands, and into him. Yeah, his skin, which had been several shades too pale, becomes healthy-ish again. He still looks quite skinny and weak.
I think Theo's gonna at least kind of try and look into Gad's eyes and kind of gently touch his shoulder and just say, like, we're here to get you. Just stay here, okay? You'll be safe. And what I'd like to do is I want Theo to leave the force bubble there, but Theo step out of it.
Okay.
And then I want to use Endragoras' eye on this flaming person.
Okay.
The flaming person that's eating me?
Yeah.
Do you have written down there how that works?
Yeah, whenever someone does magic at or within range, roll magic.
Okay. Do that. Sorry, I was thinking about something else.
Oh,
where were
Theo.
we? You just rolled something. So
Yeah.
So what was that? What did you roll, and what does that mean?
I rolled a 5.
You sure did.
In my notes, it says on a miss, it goes out of control.
Okay, so you walk out, fix your gaze on this figure that has Mark held by the head.
Am I being lifted off the ground, by the
No.
way?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Hey, Johnny.
I'm Johnny.
For your information, I am also unstable.
Noted.
And just putting this out here, you can totally say no. But I also, and I have not used that apotheosis at all yet. I've been waiting for an important moment, but this kind of feels like...
Oh, fuck. Yes. Okay. You fix your gaze on this figure that has Mark held by the face. You reach within and call upon the power of the Eye of Endragoras, and you are overtaken with grief and fury. You should be surrounded by home, family, and friends, but all that is here is ash and darkness. Someone killed the sea. Your sea. You're looking at him. You are now a terrifying font of mystical power. You don't see Mark, you don't see Lowry. I mean, you see them, but what you see more, because he is brighter than anything else in the room and is also the target of all of your rage and fury, is this burning figure. They called him Oscar, but he didn't call himself that. What do you do?
Would I be able to... Okay, you can totally say no. Would I be able to pull upon all of my magical effects lightning, wind, and entropy and slam it at this thing?
Yes. Well, first of all, now that you have had that idea, you would need to roll act under pressure to not do it because you have all of the temptations. And this is a really good opportunity for some carnage.
8.
Okay. Do some carnage. Or don't.
I mean, I'm just gonna blast the shit out of this fiery dude.
You sure are. Roll it.
11. Wait,
You have +1 ongoing to do everything.
so 12. And what, using innate magic as a 3 harm weapon with whatever properties you choose? So I guess it does 3 harm, if I'm understanding that correctly?
Well, not with an advanced move. Yeah, so it's going to do 2 things. You are going to unleash this wave of magical energy to the point where it rocks break loose from the ceiling and floor and fly at him. No, at them. At Mark and this figure. And you put all of you said lightning, you said entropy, you said force.
Yeah.
It's this crackling ball of energy just towering towards you. You know what? I'm very nice. Mark, roll act under pressure.
That is a 10.
Okay? So yeah, you see this coming. This figure doesn't because its back is turned to Theo. And you are able to wrench its one hand off of your arm, pull out your sword, and use that to bat away its other hand and dive out of the way as this wave of energy puts out the fire. And where the spike had gone through its chest, that part becomes spent ash and just explodes into dust. So it now has the stake clatters to the ground and it has a hole in its chest and it is fully off balance and being just buffeted by this wave of energy.
So, really quick question though. Who just all got hit by that?
Just the burning guy.
And Lowry.
Oh, and Lowry?
How much is he okay?
Could I have grabbed him?
No.
No!
Can I use my woman with the plan hold to have Donovan protect Lowry?
Oh, I like that.
Flashback, when Kiro turned around to be like, Theo, can you do a protection spell, and saw that she wasn't there. I think she just wordlessly looks at Donovan and gives him a go after her.
Find her.
And I think he was kind of creeping up behind this whole time, watching and waiting, and then sees something come over Theo and sees this just hellfire about to go after this thing and swoops in, flies in, and grabs Lowry.
Yeah. So Mark and Lowry are now, and Donovan are all now sort of safely off to one side at the entrance of this cavern where it opens up into something of a larger cave complex.
Can I do another thing?
You have to.
So apparently now I can fly. So I would love to fly dart forward to this flaming person and grab them by the shoulder and the head and just rip.
Okay. Roll kick some ass with weird instead of tough.
13, and that's with the +1 with apotheosis.
Okay. So you grab this thing, you hold it up in the air, place a hand or perhaps both within the hole in its chest, and wrench it open. And you split up in between its left shoulder and head, and exploding out of it towards you is still more of this fire, but you don't even feel it. Mark and Lowry and Donovan, what you guys see is this flame that is erupting out of this thing fly around, not a ball, more like a flow, like a pillar of fire, really, flying around this room, and then it flies down to the ground and goes past you and out of this cavern and out of sight. I will ask the question, this pillar of fire has just flown past you, Mark and Donovan and Lowry. What do you want to do with or about it? And Theo is still just hovering in the center of this chamber. She doesn't seem like herself.
Donovan, can you go after that?
I think he will sigh very briefly, but flap his wings and chase after it.
Okay, I think Mark is going to run over to Theo and... Theo, are you okay?
Johnny, I'm kind of wondering, can I absorb this body? The dead eye.
Roll the eye.
7.
So
I'm kind of trying to lean into the temptation that is secrets. It says, like, use magic to discover forbidden, dangerous knowledge.
So, okay, with that roll, you know, but nothing will be done about it as a result of the roll. You know that the thing that you want to absorb just flew out of the cave.
Okay. Theo's gonna shoot after that.
Okay.
Ignoring Mark completely.
Yep. Mark and Lowry. Theo just fucking ditched. Gad's leaning pathetically against the wall, awake and sort of clutching himself. And Theo just flew off after Donovan, who flew off after a pillar of flame.
Theo! And I think Mark runs after.
Can Lowry help Gad?
Fucking... You are going to run off, leaving Gad behind. So now I want an act under pressure roll from Theo and then another one from Mark.
I think what Mark would do is run out just to see where she went and then like double check or go back.
I rolled an 11 for act under pressure. No, I rolled a 12 for act under pressure.
11.
So this cave does have a couple of twists and turns, but Theo, obviously you're able to just make it. You pass some sort of winged creature that you don't care about, and you just have all of your attention focused on this flame. Mark, you also run out. You see Theo overtake Donovan and fly after this thing. I think you can tell, because it's a ways in the distance, where that pillar of flame is running and where Donovan and Theo are chasing it are towards the wall of flame that you had made earlier today.
Can I like channel Ro and just be like, I guess ask through, basically give Ro my vision to be like, is this what you're looking for?
Yes. And no, it isn't. She will, though, say you should be very careful with that power.
With the fire.
Yeah.
I think Mark just nods.
Kira and Anna, I think you just hear distant crackling, whooshing fire.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys doing?
Do we see these things coming towards us?
Yeah, like a glint on the horizon.
Then I think if Tower is getting free, Kira is going to try to slash at her with her axe. Since she doesn't know what to do with the sky yet, I think she's probably thinking, oh, Mark would be great right now. But he's not here. So she's going to just slash with her axe.
Okay, roll kick some ass.
15 advanced move.
Goddamn, what's your improvement?
She's going to do double the harm. That's 8 harm.
Describe this to me. Where are you? What are you doing? Where are you trying to hit her?
I'm thinking that like arm that was kind of starting to like kind of grow back. I'm almost kind of thinking Kira would try to just hack it off and separate it from the rest of the body if possible.
Oh boy. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you'll climb up the sort of vines that have her pinned and just like, yeah, hack at the place where that withered arm meets her body. And you will not only take off that arm, but actually a pretty sizable chunk in her side. I think while that's happening, though, she is pummeling you with some of her other arms.
She's got multiple arms.
There are quite a lot. The shoulders of her robe like flare up and 2 huge other arms just start pummeling you while you're doing that. So you will take 3 harm, minus, I think, all of that. God damn it.
No, remember we discovered that it's not 3 harm. I just don't take the whatever harm moves or whatever.
Yes, of course.
So I still take 1 harm.
Which I need to keep remembering to do.
I think Kira might shout out to Anna and whoever else, Ruby, who is nearby, and say, something with the sky. If we can cut through her, I think that's what's going to make her weak. Something that can cut through the sea. And can Anna roll, because she does have the move, to know if there's anything in her studies that would maybe help with that?
Yes.
What is the roll? Novice polymath 7, which is on a hit. The keeper will tell you a useful and specific piece of advice that you found in your studies.
Okay. In lieu of doing that, Ruby is going to run in, hold her hands up towards Tower like she's like in a marionette kind of pose. And you can see one of Tower's arms that she's bringing back to hit you with just goes still. And there's like a thin ethereal brace holding it in space. And she's like doing some kind of magic to keep that happening. And she shouts out, The sky can't cut a damned thing, girl. Are you sure you're hearing that right? We cut the sea to get in here, didn't we?
Oh, does she mean the coral?
Yes, that's what she means.
Fuck. Okay, then yeah, heroes will be like, fuck, you're probably right. And she's gonna try to take out the fucking coral that she has.
So I do want to also give you some more color as to how your attack went, because I'm envisioning it as being quite gruesome indeed. That with every hack, there is a thumping squelch and more blood splashes out all over you. It's extremely dark red. It's odd, it's inhuman, it's weird, and it's blood, and you're covered in it. And there is a huge gash in her side now that is oozing this stuff. Maybe I'm just being gross just to be gross, but what I mean is there's an open wound in front of you.
All right, then Kira will try to do that. She will take the coral where there is the open space in her body. She will try to shove it in, and I think almost like seal it shut with her life drain.
I will also say, yeah, the other thing about this open wound is that, yeah, it is closing.
Then she'll shove it in and maybe kind of try to seal it shut. Speed that process up a little with her life drain healing, if that makes sense.
It does. Why don't you roll that? Because I think putting it in there will be no problem.
11.
She's kind of coming loose, but not enough. So you throw it in, and then 11, so that's 2-1. You are going to take some harm from doing that.
1 harm?
Yeah. And then, yeah, it's like this sort of crawling restitching of skin around it that just gets put on fast forward, and you feel a little bit dizzy, and I think you will lose your grip and your balance. It's not that far, but you will just fall on your ass.
Okay, yeah, she falls back, kind of like she scrambles back a little bit and just watches to see what happens.
Some of Tower's arms will rip off the remaining vines that were keeping her down. And then all of the rest of them, it's like 6 different hands are just scratching at that part, trying to reach in and get it. When you put it in, it felt like you were puncturing a membrane, like some kind of mystical balloon skin. And you pushed it in and that like popped. And she's frantic and furious.
Okay, I think Anna would try to prevent her from being able to see if she can get it out and go after one of those hands and attack her with her staff.
Okay.
God damn, Anna, 14 again.
Jesus.
Pick your advantage.
Advanced. We're gonna do double harm again.
You beasts. That's what?
8.
8. Jeezy crazy.
Because she did the +1 to enchant it.
All right, so Anna gets in there and starts batting at some of Tower's giant hands, breaking fingers left and right. But there are more of them than there are of that staff, so she is going to take some hits. It will be 3 harm, minus armor, as she's just beaten about the shoulders and face. And so how much does that work out to be total?
Anna has 2 armor, so she takes 1 harm.
I now have the Keep Her Harm Moves document open at all times. It feels like you are being pelted by rocks. It hurts like crazy. Theo, roll the Eye of Endragoras for me. It's within your grasp.
Cool. That's going to be 6.
Did you add the +1 ongoing because you're in apotheosis?
Yep, I rolled double ones.
Exquisite. So Theo, soaring through the air, you catch up to this thing. Kira and Anna and the rest of the sort of detachment that are fighting Tower, the glowing dot on the horizon blinks out as Theo, it gets pulled into your eye and you lose your balance and drop out of the sky and skid across this sandy sea floor. You burst into flames. But it's okay because they're your flames. You put them there all those years ago, which is why you had to escape here. But aren't you supposed to be keeping watch over the boy? Theo, you've gone away. The next few things that you experience will be experienced as someone else. Donovan flutters down to land next to you and approaches you cautiously.
Johnny, don't.
I want you to roll use magic.
8.
Okay. The effect is weakened, but you breathe fire at him. And then when it kind of clears and you can see through, as the fire itself conceals your vision, obscures your vision, but after it clears, you can see that he's made for himself a little shield of his red and black wing. And he pulls it away, kind of nods and goes, okay, and pulls out his sword, but it's still in its sheath. Roll act under pressure, Mark. You're still running after them too.
9.
It'll take you a bit. Kira, what are you doing?
Kira is going to try to take off more of these arms, and I think she sees that fire off in the distance, and she kind of has just a bad feeling.
She sure does.
And I think she actually tells Anna, she says, go. And I think Anna's gonna start running towards where the fire had gone out.
The dog will run with you.
And then I think Kira looks at Ruby and is like, give her everything you got. Kira's gonna try to like hack off a couple hands and hope that Ruby can take care of another couple.
Okay. Would you roll kick some ass, Kira?
Yes. That is a 7 to kick some ass.
Okay. So yeah, you get in there and you are hacking away and she is pummeling you back. She like fully catches some of your axe throws with her palm and doesn't seem to mind it. Some of them get into joints and one or more of the limbs is actually coming a bit loose. Ruby, for her part, well, the boy is really, really taking it. Just, he's got big ass arms too, and so he's going in with a boxer's stance and just throwing punches, aiming for elbows. Cheshire's gone off on its own and seems to have run inside of Tower's robes and is wreaking some sort of havoc in there. You'll do what you do, and then she'll deal 3 harm on you.
Anna has a very specific move that she should probably use right now.
And that is?
Oh no. When you suspect someone's in trouble and you need to get to them in time to help, roll plus sharp. On a 10 plus, you arrive in time to help.
This sounds like a really good time to use that move.
Yeah, I'll roll it. She's gonna use a luck point because she rolled a 4.
Okay.
So it's fine. It's fine. So she arrives in time to help. You pick only one option from the list below and take +1 ongoing to help resolve the situation. And you choose from the list, something has followed you, not before something bad happens, your presence makes it worse, you witness something heartbreaking, you must sacrifice something important to do so, you can't help everyone, you're in over your head, you had to leave someone behind. You had to leave someone behind? Would you allow me to pick that? Or you're in over your head?
You're rolling well enough, and I'm being nice enough, and you did have to leave Kira behind.
Yeah.
Who is your person.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you had to leave someone behind. I'd allow it.
All right, so that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna book it towards there, and I think she's just sprinting as fast as she possibly can.
What you see when you arrive, and also you see, Mark, Theo fighting with some pretty ferocious fire powers. Largely, she's just shooting beams of heat out of her hands. Just as you arrive, Anna, you see her conjure a blade made of solid flame that Donovan is like fencing defensively against. He's got his sword, but it's still sheathed, the long, narrow black case he's using to sort of swat at her where he can, but mostly deflect her blows.
Can Anna use her move again to see what the hell's going on with Theo?
Not quite.
Do I have to get closer, or...?
Theo, I believe you have a rote that would be pretty helpful right now. Something about memory?
Yeah, I have a memory spell. Why?
Well, this man who's fighting you only knows these moves because he knows them. If he didn't know them anymore,
oh no,
he'd be much easier for you to defeat. So why don't you roll that for me?
So is Anna not able to use the spell because she's not close enough, or what?
This was in progress.
But if she could get there in time to help resolve the situation.
Well, let's see. We'll do this roll. We'll do that roll. We'll make them happen at the same time. How about that?
That's a 12.
So why don't you tell us what is maybe about to happen?
Theo opens up like a pretty good cut in the palm of her hand and like wipes the blood on her fingertips. Darts at Donovan, but fakes and cuts behind him, grabs his head. In Greek, she would say, "Forget yourself."
Anna and Mark, you arrive, get within range of Theo just in time for her to knock his sword out of his hand, fake to one side, and get up behind him and place 2 bloodied hands on his head. And he sort of stiffens, and you aren't quite clear what she's doing. She's muttered some words that I think... Mark, it pleases me to imagine that you've been doing some Rosetta Stone.
Aww.
Mark, why don't you roll Investigate a Mystery just for fun?
9.
Anna, by the way, rolled an 11 for Spirit Touched.
Oh, okay, to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, that's what she wanted to do.
Okay. Mark, she said something about forgetting. You think she's going to try to do something to his memory. Anna, you knew already that this wasn't Theo. You know who it is, and it's troubling on a couple of different levels. One, it is Oscar Henriksen or a piece of him. But 2, it has all the, hallmarks of Ember, Ashworld.
How much can Theo see?
So right now, Theo, here's what you perceive. You are sitting in a small rowboat, adrift in a totally dark sea. The water appears as black as the sky does, and just as starless. Sitting in the boat with you is a harmless enough looking older man, maybe in his 60s, dressed a bit like a college professor, and on fire. But underneath the fire, he has all the same sort of textures and materials as being a person. His skin appears pinkish, if pale. His jacket is made, in fact, of a sort of dorky greenish tweed. His pants are a flecked gray. His shoes are too big.
Hello?
How did you do that?
Theo, looks around. Do what?
You have contained me after a fashion.
Were you that thing?
Ah, language fails. I am a sort of avatar of the whole man, though he hasn't looked like this in quite a long time.
Why? What happened to him?
My questions first,
Why?
because I asked them first. Things must be done in a particular order. If we allow the laws of nature to be broken just as easily as the laws of polite society, then what hope have we for the future? What is left but chaos? How have you contained the uncontainable?
With magic.
Yes, which magic?
I don't know.
Do you know how many magics I had learnt in my times? None of them could stop what was to happen.
I don't know. I used his eye.
He cocks a head to one side. Whose?
The dead Sea King's eye. Andragoras. I have it. It's mine now.
Of course. A torrent of salt water to douse the flames. Well, call this a failure of my hubris. I never tried to use a god as a tool.
I've answered your question.
So you have.
Why haven't you looked like this in a while? What happened? What are you? I mean, you're an avatar, but you used to be a person?
He sort of looks off over the sea and goes, "It is strange to have not seen water for so long. I am a failed experiment. The being we discovered all those years ago began as a human and was becoming one more and more each minute. So why, we thought, Garrett and I, could the process not be done in reverse?
Wait, what being?
Has it not happened yet?
Who are you talking about?
The world, the living, waking world. Is it yet unburnt? Well, there was a being.
Unburnt? Who are you? And what's your name?
Making such fuss for politesse and you do not even introduce yourself. I am Oscar Henriksen, or a piece of him.
I think Theo just gets tense and stares at him and starts going through all of these different scenarios of what do I do next? How can I stop him, contain him, get him to Kira, maybe not get him to Kira?
You hear over the sea the booming echo of your own voice saying, in Greek, forget yourself.
It's intermission time!
Hooray!
Okay.
John and I will bring the energy.
And that means you gotta go use the restroom, fill your water bottle, maybe get a snack, or get a blanket and hide underneath it because of all the horrible, terrifying things that Johnny's doing.
Hey.
Also, John's here.
Hi, John.
Hi. Hi. Long time no see, everybody.
Yeah, you should join us more often.
No comment.
Lauren, you have a couple of announcements to distract us?
Yes, I do. First things first, we have a new Patreon that we got to shout out. Yeah, very exciting time over here.
Yay.
Special thanks to Pat for joining our Patreon as an ears agent.
Pat.
Hi, Pat.
FYI, Pat is the best.
He is the best.
He really slaps.
We are so thankful to each of our patrons for supporting our show. It really does help a lot. And so we are so glad to have you joining us as we create new and exciting content. Also, as far as things that we've got coming up, we have a couple of treats coming for you this Halloween. This episode is actually the conclusion of our first act of season 3. So that means that we've got another book club covering the story episode coming your way, where we all will be talking about the events of the season so far. Plus, our patrons will also get access to our next batch of Dockers' highlights bloopers. So things are packed this Halloween. And then in 2 weeks from now, we'll be back with episode 17 of the cover story, as well as the final episode of our Patreon exclusive Blades in the Dark campaign on November 7th. We got so many things coming up, guys. But John, you've got a couple of reminders.
I have a couple of reminders. Oh, right. Those reminders.
Yes.
If you'd like to support the show, leave us, as always, a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your listening platform of choice. And make sure to tell your friends. And word of mouth is the best way to get our show noticed. Also, make sure to follow us on social media, on Twitter, @MonsterPlaybook, and on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr. Oh, and Blue Sky, @MonstersPlaybook. And then join us on Discord. We've got a lot of fun things on Discord. We also play games on Discord. Come check that out. It is hilariously funny. And then, let's see. Support us monetarily if you want to.
If you want to.
I'm going to start over there. If you want to support us monetarily by subscribing to our Patreon. I might die later tonight. Subscribe to our Patreon, merch store, or Ko-Fi. All right, well, links to all of these things and more can be found in our Direct Me profile in this episode's show notes. Miah, roll the promo.
Well, first I have to tell you about the promo, John.
All right.
Which is for our friends at Slay the Stars. Now, normally, Slay the Stars is a D&D podcast, but recently they have featured in a new limited actual play series called Bella's Comet in partnership with the TTRPG podcast, Game Master Monday. Bella's Comet is a sci-fi cyberpunk story being played in the Ark, a doom system. The story follows a group of rebels and misfits as they try to stave off a deadly comet before time runs out on their beloved home. Let's take a listen.
Some stories are epic tales for the ages, hours of content, sprawling narratives that pull you in and consume years of your life.
This isn't one of those stories.
Join the creators of Game Master Monday and Slay the Stars with a special guest from Lost Guide Games as they take you on a journey of hope and desperation.
Using the Arc Doom TTRPG system, Bella's Comet is nothing like you've experienced so far.
Because there's a twist.
And the clock is ticking.
Episode 1 of Bella's Comet releases on October 4th. Listen in on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tell them where they can find them, John.
You can find Slay the Stars on their website at slaythestars.com, and be sure to check out Bella's Comet at bellascomet.com or wherever you get your podcasts. All these links can also be found in this episode's show notes. And with that, let's get back to the episode.
Woo! Come back again, John.
I'll be back. Baby, come back.
You can blame it all on John.
What? Bye.
Outside, Anna rolled an 11. Was that for?
So yeah, she had rolled a 10 plus to get there in time to help.
Yep.
To this situation, but she also was going to try to see what the hell is even going on, and she rolled an 11 for her spirit touch move. So, and you told me what I saw.
Yep, you can perceive this perfectly, that she is possessed by a sort of flaming version of Oscar Henriksen that has all of the smells and energy of Ember. And you know also beyond a shadow of the doubt
what she's doing
and what will happen if she does it. I want to know what Mark is trying to do first.
Mark is gonna cast out evil, and I rolled an 11.
Interesting.
To throw my hat in the ring. I think when Theo hears and understands that this is Oscar Henriksen, the person that Kira wants, Theo's gonna go on mental lockdown, essentially trying to shut herself down and stopping anything that's happening and trying to prevent this person from not leaving because she wants to get this person to Kira. Kira is the one who needs to and should deal with it.
I love this. So Mark rolled Cast Out Evil and got an 11. Anna, I want to know what you wanted to try to do, because that's going to happen at the same time.
She was going to try to use Ether Touch to separate Oscar from Theo.
Okay, you roll that. Theo, if I understand your plan correctly, you are trying to create a vault so that he can't escape.
Yeah, I essentially want to put him on lockdown.
I'm going to have that be a weird roll. And then Anna, try Ether Touch.
Anna rolled a 13.
14.
This is tough because you guys... Well, no, it isn't really. Because Theo is unwittingly working against both Mark and Anna, who are working together. So what I think is that Mark rushes in, puts a hand on Theo's back, mutters or concentrates whatever things it's going to take for him to do that, which will have, in fact, the effect of pulling her off of Donovan and stopping that spell completely, desyncing the spirit that's controlling Theo and Theo's own body. So it does appear a little bit kind of like the visual of the armor in Dune, or there's a kind of flickery version of Theo with the tint turned way up too high on an old CRT TV that's occupying more or less the same space as her. Then, that having happened, inside Theo, the sea that you are on suddenly turns very rough, and the vision of this flaming man in front of you does start to flicker, and I think you start to sort of panickedly now, with even more effort and concerted control, try to stop that from happening. Stabilize him. You envision a bubble around the two of you. You try to shift that bubble to being made of steel. Anna, outside, you take Theo, I think you grab her by the shoulders, try to stabilize her. She's not really doing anything at this point. She's not fighting back. She's sort of dazed from what Mark had done. And you do that thing where you sort of calm yourself, try to get your body in perfect sync with your spirit, and do the same thing with someone else's. And you start to heal it off of her. Theo, I think you feel the presence of her. You don't know what's going on with your body. You don't know what's going on outside. But you know that Anna is there. And you know that she is there to help you.
Can she hear me if I try and talk to her?
That depends. What do you want to say?
Anna, he's here. I have Oscar. I've got him.
Roll manipulate someone.
6.
Anna, you see Theo groan.
Okay. Anna's going to continue, I think, trying to separate them and see if she can kind of hold Oscar's essence.
It's harder than it should be. Is your sharp still +0?
That's 1.
Okay. I think a foreign spirit shouldn't be fighting this hard against being pulled away from a body. It is as though you are trying to separate the ghost from a living person. It's like trying to remove the price tag or the label from a candle. If you keep pulling like this, it could tear.
It could hurt Theo.
Yes. Unless you can figure out why it's sticking so hard.
Okay. Anna will say, I think she's has her hand kind of imposed in Theo right now because she's reaching into her soul basically.
Yeah. Mark, Anna has her hands sunk inside of Theo's shoulders. Like she's clipping in an old Nintendo 64 game.
Yeah. And I think Anna kind of looks over to Mark and is like, Oscar Henriksen is inside Theo, but if I try to take him out, it might hurt her. There's something making him stick to her. Can you see anything?
Yeah, I guess. Can I see anything or investigate a mystery?
I will have you roll read a bad situation. You are taking in information quickly.
12. I feel like we're doing surgery. She's over there. She's like, scalpel.
I'm very stressed out about this. Mark, all occupying the same space, you can see this flaming older gentleman that is the same shape as the thing from the cave. But you can see Theo wrapped around him, clutching him as though to keep him from moving.
I see him. He's contained. Theo's got him.
Tell her to let go. Anna's going to try to say it, not knowing if Theo would hear her. And she's like, you have to let go.
And I think Mark is going to relay that telepathically.
Mark, you are going to have to roll plus weird to do that.
13.
Theo, Mark bursts out of the water and pulls himself onto the rowboat.
You need to let go.
But he could get away.
It's the only way we're going to fix this. We need you to let go. Trust me. And I think Mark puts out a hand.
Mark, roll manipulate someone.
9.
No, it's a 10. Theo, if you do this, you will mark experience and get +1 forward.
Theo will, but you is going to turn to Oscar, who is in the rowboat with her, and ask him, why did you want to be a god?
I didn't. I only wanted power.
And did you get it? Did it work?
To my immense regret, it did.
Theo just has this overwhelming feeling of just being so fatigued, and she'll let go.
And you will see just a big hand come from the sky and grab him and pull him away. And Anna, you get a really good groove going with taking this sticker off. And it's just pop. And you peel it off. Theo, you blink awake again. And Anna, you are holding fire.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Is there a containment spell that Anna could cast on this entity?
No, but I think there's a containment spell that Donovan can cast.
All right, then I think Anna will be like, I gotta contain this thing, Donovan!
He will come up next to you. I want to figure out what exactly it is he's going to do.
Theo for sure collapses into Mark's arm. She also has been unstable, so
Mark is going to use lay on hands to heal her wound.
Yeah, well, Theo first take an additional harm.
Yep.
11.
Nice.
So how much do I heal?
Your touch can heal injury and disease. When you lay on your hands on someone hurt, roll plus cool on a 10. Heal 2 harm or an illness. Plus they are stabilized.
Yeah, so you are stable and you heal 2 harm. So Donovan will come up next to you. He will unsheath his rapier, sort of put the blade into the flame, and then it immediately in the middle of the blade starts to burn just white hot. Then he will put his hand on that part that's burning. Using the leverage of his other hand, he will snap the sword in half, and the flame collapses into just a sphere about the size of a basketball that is burning healthily and not moving.
Okay.
And then Donovan takes something out of his pocket and starts wrapping up his hand, gritting his teeth. He did well.
Aw, thanks. Theo, are you okay?
Is she out?
She's not unconscious. She fell down.
She's super weak.
She collapsed. Yeah.
What? How did I get out here? What happened?
Well, you went toe-to-toe with a fire monster, and then you went crazy. Tried to do some sort of magic memory wipe to Donovan's mind.
What?
But we stopped you. It's all good.
Mark is just nodding to all the things.
Mark, you hear a voice in your head go, hey, can you tell your girlfriend how to turn off this barrier thing? I can't get in there to help this guy.
Wait, who?
It's Lowry.
He's in my head. Wait, what? He's in my head?
speaking to you telepathically.
Oh.
He cannot walk through the barrier to help Gad.
Yeah, I got it, bro. Theo, can you take down the barrier? I think Gad needs help.
Barrier? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember putting up a barrier like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Theo will focus in on that and drop it.
Mark, you could telepathically get a thumbs up emoji.
Donovan, are you okay?
He finishes wrapping up his hand and like bites off whatever the little bandage is. I'm fine.
We should make sure Kira's okay.
What happened to Tower?
She and Ruby are taking her on. Ruby figured out a weakness against her. Coral can cut through the sea or some bullshit.
Theo is going to try and like get up and stumble because her foot. Well, we have to help her.
Yeah, one crisis at a time. And she's gonna see if she can. So that the energy that Donovan was able to contain, is it in his sword? I'm confused.
No,
it's just in like a. Can you explain it?
Actually, Anna, roll investigate a mystery.
7.
There is a kind of magic. Honestly, I think it's fully from the elves. It's like a sub-school sacrifice magic.
Oh, so because he like hurt himself.
Well, and he gave up his sword.
Okay. But the thing, where is the thing actually like contained somewhere? It's just floating in the air.
It is floating in the air. It is a ball of fire.
Okay, so it's like instead of an angry hornet's nest, it is now like a sleeping hornet's nest.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
A pleasant hornet's nest.
She will kind of grab it or see if she can kind of take it with them somehow to go back to where Kira is to help her out.
I think Donovan is looking at Theo when he says, "It won't work. It's bound to me. I'll bring it."
Oh, come on then.
You look like you will have trouble walking by yourself. Why don't I fly you?
Sure. And I think they all kind of make back over to Kira then.
En route, Donovan will say to Theo, "When this is over, we're going to have a conversation about that eye. That was reckless. It was insane. You have been extraordinarily lucky." Because it delights me so much and I didn't get an opportunity to say it, if Theo would have responded, Donovan would have said, "This is not a conversation."
I'm pretty sure the like spinning wheels popped up above my head as you were talking, but I was literally
Rainbow beach ball.
Well, like literally, I felt just the heat rising up in my face, and I was just like, "Do I say anything?"
Kira.
Yeah. A blood-soaked Kira is continuing.
Yeah, Kira, you are big covered in blood. Because there's more now, because now you're chopping off fingers. And these fingers on some of these hands are like the size of baseball bats. Like,
is the coral doing anything? Do we just have to keep hitting her? Like, wait for it to take its time? Can Kira look around, see if she sees any other coral around here? Maybe in the surroundings?
Roll a bad situation.
10.
So I'm going to decide that this is also the time when everybody else is going to run in and join you.
Okay.
But you see a little bit of, it's not like, I think the one that you had used is coral, like sort of salmon colored. It almost blends in with the sand. It's like a dusty gray, like a worn out beige. At first, it looks like a little thing about the size of a thumb poking up. But then as you go to pick it up, there's a much larger bit of it. And you scrape some sand away, and it's like a little sharp club. It's about 6 or 7 inches. And there's no place to hold it that won't kind of cut your hand.
Oh, she'll just pick it up. She's like kind of, I think, in rage mode right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I see that.
And so she's gonna pick it up and then just eat the damage of holding it, as I'm sure it cuts her hand.
It'll be one harm. once you attack with it, I think.
I think she will start just kind of, because you kind of have described Tower kind of just battering me from all sides. I think Kira's kind of more or less do the same with this thing and just start peppering her like all over, in the head, in the side, on her arms, legs.
So here's what I would love to have happen. You dash off sort of to one side to pick this thing up. With a roar, run back towards Tower. Ruby sees this happening. Hey, here. Basically, what is going to happen is Ruby is going to hurling these sort of glowing discs of physicalness with the intention that you will run up them to get closer to Tower's head and out of reach of some of her lower arms, which does happen. And basically, you go up and just bring this club and your entire weight down on her. I think you get a really good hit in on one of her shoulders. I think you grab onto the back of her robe to keep yourself up there and just keep pummeling her head and neck. I know you have natural protections. Do you have like physical armor as well?
The 2 armor that I have is from the Chosen. It just says you always count as having 2 armor. It's my invincible move. But then I also, with the Initiate, I think I can have armor, like physical armor too. So I think there is like a little bit of something, but maybe it's not as high tech as like something that Ears would have, for example.
The reason I ask is because what is happening is
it's very physical.
And Tower is not only punching you, she's scraping at you. So you rolled a 10 or higher, yeah?
I haven't rolled to kick ass yet. I just rolled to see if I could find the thing.
Oh, cool. Roll kick some ass.
Let me do that. That's a 10.
Nice. What's your advantage?
Going to inflict terrible harm.
Why do I even ask?
I don't know. Well, because I just don't think any of the other ones really make sense right now. Like, suffer less harm. Kira's not worried about her safety right now. She's trying to kill Tower.
Okay. So the rest of you are going to get back to this in time to see Kira run on nothing, high into the air, bring down her entire weight and this weird sandy club she seems to have found. I think previously when she was hitting Tower with her axe, there was this goopy blood spraying. Now there's like iridescent purple sparks coming off of every hit. And there are so many hits. She's grabbed Tower by the back of her robes and just keeps hitting and hitting. Tower's myriad arms, with some hands have broken fingers, some hands have missing fingers, are all descending on trying to scrape Kira off of her back. And the armor that you have from Dawnbreak will get pulled off and tossed aside. I think like your jacket and shirt, and you just are beating the fucking shit out of her.
Could Theo read a bad situation?
Yes, please.
And open up her third eye?
Mm-hmm.
14, advance move.
What do you want to know?
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
There are no dangers you haven't noticed.
How can we help Kira kill Tower?
Because I'm a benevolent demigod. You have done and are doing the thing that will let you kill Tower. If she takes a bit more damage, she will die.
What's the biggest threat?
Tower.
What is the best way to contain Oscar Hendrickson?
You have to find something to put him in.
Would Anna, like one of Anna's abjuration things, maybe work?
Where is he contained in right now?
He's just a floating ball of fire that's flying behind Donovan.
But what about...
Well, there's the fire, and then there's the guy. Multi-armed, robed, enormous physical figure with the conspicuous walking stick.
Okay, do I see any invisible things?
No. But that was an advanced move. So I guess kind of. So it's the strangest thing, because Oscar's walking stick is just a big hunk of papery white wood, but every time he like picks it up to move or to shift it, he's like tearing roots out. You can see that those roots exist physically when he pulls it up and breaks them, but they also exist ethereally and go off in 3 different directions.
Would Theo be able to, when he pulls it out of the ground, like blast it out of his hands, maybe towards herself?
I don't know, maybe.
Could I try to do that?
Yeah.
12 advance move.
Which is the only scenario in which I was going to allow this to happen. What I would recommend for you to do is to essentially, because he is just watching this battle sort of in concerned awe. He's looking and sort of shuffling back. When he lifts it up, he's sort of leaning on it against his right shoulder. And what I would recommend is that you pick sort of a point on his right shoulder to create a force explosion.
Sure.
So somewhere in between both of his hands, it just like bursts, and this walking stick that is really more of a tree trunk clacks and somersaults away from him as he is thrown backwards and catches himself on a couple of the arms on his back, pushes himself back up, limpingly, frantically, scrambles off after it.
I think Theo will say to Donovan, "That's not a walking stick," and we'll head towards it, hoping that Donovan will help her get to the walking stick.
Roll manipulate someone.
8.
He's just going to fly off by himself to go get it.
That's fine. He's probably more capable than I am.
And then he'll like grab it and sort of do a somersault into the air. Not a somersault, a barrel roll. I do want you to kind of clock that one. I mentioned Oscar is quite a bit taller than a normal person. He's maybe 12 feet tall, I think. And which makes this walking stick also about 12 feet tall and, you know, maybe as big around as like a cantaloupe. But once Donovan grabs it, he is flying with surprising agility given how big this thing is, and also with maybe even greater agility than he had earlier.
Are we close to Kira now?
Yes.
The rest of us? I think Anna's...
Everyone.
Okay, I think Anna will help Kira out, hit Tower in such a way as to make, like, buckle her, like, legs out beneath her so that she'll, like, go to her knees or something. So, like, kneecap her or something with, like, her staff.
Okay. Roll kick some ass.
10.
Okay. Pick your advantage.
I'm going to give +1 forward to Mark.
Okay. In doing that,
4 harm.
yeah, you will take out her right knee and you will feel it crack and you will see some more of that dark red ooze come out. Yeah, the bone will poke through her knee and she will drop to it. But then a frantic slap of one of her huge, at this point, fingerless arms will douse you in that horrible blood and also swat you away. The damage that it would do at this point is negated by your protection. But you are skidding across this sandy seabed, tossing up dust and telling Mark that it's his turn. She's got a real bloody Kira hanging off her neck. She's got stumpy arms flying off in all directions like a sea anemone.
I almost kind of think that, like, Kira's maybe holding on. I have in my mind that she's, like, holding on to, like, by the neck, you said. And she maybe actually can't get a good, like, hit in right now because, like, if she lets go, like, she'll, like, fall off.
Yeah.
I think she might just shout your name, Mark, and be like, Mark, and then drop the club and see if you can grab it and hit her with the coral club.
Dope.
Random thought with this. Where's Ack right now?
He went home.
Yeah, he went home.
Which is here.
Not here precisely, but nearby.
If I were to grab the club and ask for his strength basically behind the swing that I have here, is that something I could do?
So first I want you to roll act under pressure to catch this club.
And can I roll help out from Kira?
Yes.
10, soon to be 11.
11 to help out.
6.
Boom.
So that's +2.
So it's a 12.
That is an advanced move.
Yes, it is.
Ah.
You are going to run through this like falling rocks that you are just dodging between, and you like jump over a planted hand in the ground and catch this club, do a spin roll into a power crouch.
Jump and spin.
Yeah, and I'm going to have you roll plus weird.
14. It falls into place. God damn.
That's such a cool movie moment.
So you rear back in this power crouch. You bring back this club, and you reach out in your mind and memory to your old friend, Ack, a childhood nightmare turned adult friend. Here's what happens. Mark, you hear in your mind,
Let's do this.
And all the rest of you see just his right
Oh my
arm.
God.
Like,
Just
Popeye
get
the Sailor
Donkey
Man,
Kongs.
just like doing shit.
yeah, like kind of swell up to about 3 times as big and long as it is, but in this odd, like, glitchy static. And his real arm and this also arm just connect. I should figure out how to do stuff like that. And it hits pretty much right where Kira's initial hit that cut off the withered arm was, but doesn't stop there and cleaves her in half. Kira, you and the torso just slump to the ground.
She like whips out her wing. Oh,
And Mark lands with just a little.
Could Theo come up to Tower's body?
Sure.
It's done.
So it is.
Are you not pleased?
When a stone falls where I drop it, should I be pleased?
Thank you, would be nice.
You've ended a story. What more thanks do you need?
Theo's going to go to Kira and Mark.
who? I think you said Kira's just like no shirt, like she's just bra right now.
Theo will take off her shirt under her sweatshirt and give it to Kira.
I think Kira was totally oblivious and is like, oh shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think Theo will be helping you put the shirt on and also heal you.
Mark is just breathing ever so slightly, just kind of like, that was a lot of energy I just expended. Holy.
Johnny, I am going to try and use This Might Sting.
Okay.
8.
Well, Kira,
Mm-hmm.
I have some good news and I have some bad news.
You heal me, but I have a gnarly scar right on my breastbone.
Lauren, can you roll that d4 again?
Which body part will you mutilate now?
I mean, the good news is that you heal 3.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm all the way healed up. All the way healed up, baby. 2.
Yeah, I think it goes from the center of your chest to your right shoulder.
Oof.
I feel like Theo's healing magic with this is like, has some sparks and is kind of like a blowtorch, but like a welding torch.
Yeah.
Like her hands are like bright white.
The way I've been imagining also that This Might Sting is like you're kind of inserting it into like the center of her chest in this instance. And it's like one of the sparks sort of caught on her skin and just like just drove itself from the center of your chest to your shoulder. It hurts like crazy, but at the end you feel better.
Don't tell Tommy I did that. Sorry.
It's all right. How's everybody? Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, Theo's gonna throw some healing magic at Mark, but the regular magic, not the scarring magic, because Mark had like told her not to previously. So just regular old 1 healing. Fuck. 6.
Mark, you take 1 harm. You have the sensation of a Band-Aid being ripped off of your entire body.
Also, I was unstable before, so I've been getting worse.
Anna, can you help?
Yeah.
Donovan.
So I just took 1 harm there. It's been a little while since, because I got, probably 2. I'm 1 away from dying.
I think so. Ruby is going to push all of you aside, like not even with her hands. She's just going to wave a hand and you'll all take 2 steps back. And she'll be like, good Lord, who were your teachers? And Mark, she's going to like bend down and sort of...
Mark's about to drop to his knees.
Yep, she's going to put both of her hands on both sides of your face and hold you up by your head. I want you to think very, very hard about something you love very, very much.
A picture of a rock goes in his head. It's just ding.
Wow.
Okay. And then she is going to draw your face into hers for a very long kiss.
Oof.
The rock suddenly changes to Theo.
You will heal 3 harm and you are stable. And then she like lets you go and just walks away unceremoniously, like she just tied a splint to your leg. Right. There is yet the matter of him. And she points at physical Oscar.
Yeah, what is physical Oscar doing?
He's barely able to stand, first of all, and he's sort of like crawling and kind of crawling backwards. And please, give it back.
Kira might approach him. Why do you need it?
I will die without it.
You're already dead.
Not yet.
Do you know who I am?
Should I... Mein Gott. Abigail.
Do you remember what you did to me?
Then it worked. Goldman extracted Agent M. What has he done with her? Ah, the wonders. I shudder to imagine.
I need you to answer some questions for me.
He squints. No, she is still within you.
Tell me what the plans were for her. And she's going to use Mental Dominion 8.
Okay, so that's one command.
I want you to tell me everything that you know about Agent M.
Settles back down onto his haunches and sort of props him up with a couple of the smaller hands at the base of his spine. At the time of arrival, Object Abigail was unstable, impossible to communicate with, impossible to control, but powerful beyond imagining. Agent M was to be a method by which we could exert some control over that which was uncontrollable. The end goal to have a super soldier to end super soldiers, a power to generate electricity that could make fossil fuels a thing of the past, hunger would be eradicated, inequality ended, a god on Earth.
And how were you going to extract this Agent M when the time came?
That was a parallel project to develop the scalpel. I was not able to see it to completion before I had to take refuge here.
Who was in charge of it? If you had to leave, who'd you leave it in care to?
As all of my projects, I turned over to the director, Goldman. Why am I so freely admitting all of this?
How does it feel to have your control taken away from you?
You are very charming.
I've been told that a time or two. You make me sick.
Why? Look at you. You make me proud. He gestures with a couple of his arms towards Tower's body. Do you know the hell she was capable of inflicting, and you have more or less single-handedly torn her to shreds? You are incredible.
I did that.
Yes.
Not Agent M.
Well.
You fucking coward. You try to solve all your problems by forcing someone to fix them for you, instead of doing the actual hard work of doing anything yourself.
Delegation is the skill of a good leader.
Kira's gonna punch him in the face. Sorry, I'm working on my leadership skills. I've been told I can come off a little intense.
I can understand why you might be angry. You do have God or the devil living within your soul. This is we can still fix this.
Fix what?
Extraction. The plan as it always was.
If you extract Agent M, what happens to me?
Does she speak to you?
Not often.
What does she say?
She says things that makes me quite concerned that your savior for humanity has no intention of saving anyone. She will burn this place to the ground.
He looks sort of up and around, generally at everything. Left to her own devices, yes, she will.
That is why we need to remove her and deactivate her.
A fire can warm a home as easily as destroy it.
I will not let you control me.
Then who? Her?
What happens if she isn't extracted?
He will look down at his hands, and then he will look around at the ground. What will happen to you is what happened to me. An entire world scorched to ash, and you alone to survive the aftermath.
That's where you're wrong. I'm not alone. I've never been. I guess I have you to thank for that.
He looks sort of from face to face at all of your friends, and he nods. Do you think I was alone? Do you think I did not watch as their skin crackled and turned to ash? Do you think I did not hear their screams? And then he looks back to everybody and he's like, all of you would do well to stay clear of this one. You should leave her here so that the world she destroys will be one that is already quiet. Or we can return to plan A.
I have a better idea. Can Kira put her hands on his head?
Sure.
She did this with Jesse. I want her to do the same to Oscar and flood his mind with all of the moments of pain that he's caused Kira.
Did I have that just be a use magic roll with Jesse?
Yep.
Roll it.
10.
You reach out, you put both of your hands on his head, and you push all of it. Everything that happened to you as a child, the beatings, the abuse, the moment you met Anna and finally had a floating piece of driftwood in the storm that was your life, the fact that it never really let up until Donovan arrived. And even then, it was just more suffering. The murder, the murders, all of it. And you see tears begin to flow from his eyes. But all he says, barely above a whisper, "It worked.
Congratulations.
A jailer. Brilliant."
I think I want Kira to take the blade of her axe and slice his throat.
I think that will happen. His eyes will immediately go wide in panic and grasp at his throat, and then also look around frantically and land. His eyes will land on Donovan, and he will like reach out with half a dozen hands, grasping and doing that like clenching thing, like a child's gimme gesture.
Mm-hmm.
But Donovan will just stand the tree up next to him and watch him bleed out. And then you will all see the sort of spirit energy of Oscar Henriksen like rise up out of him and start to like attempt to, what it looks like is it's trying to sort of push through an invisible membrane in the air, but it can't get to anywhere else that it's going. At first, it's like the shape of a person, but then as it like sort of mushes itself against this invisible barrier, it sort of liquefies and disintegrates, and then sort of shoves and just kneads itself into a like tighter and tighter glob of some kind of energy until it takes on the unmistakable sheen of dead life. And then it pushes a little bit more, and then it kind of stops pushing, seems to go limp, and then kind of flake off into these little firefly sparkles that Theo, you recognize as Magica. Then you hear a thump as Donovan has knocked the tree against the ground, and he just goes, "Right. So how do we get out?" Theo, I want to tell you one more thing that you saw when you looked at the Witchwood. The 3 routes that you saw going off in different directions, one of them was unmistakably from the way you came in, and you are 100% certain that that one has dried up and the barrier is no longer permeable there. But in either of these 2 other directions, there would be a place where the Witchwood is trying to push out into the living, waking world. And you hear the approaching beating of hooves and the whining of wagon wheels.
About time.
And after a minute or 2, you'll see, drawn by no horses, the carriage of the charming coachman.
I think Kira is kind of in a daze. It'd be like wipes away some tears, and their hands are just bloody, and it's just awful.
I think Mark is going to walk over and just put his hand on your shoulder and just be like, "It's done. Let's go."
Yeah.
Sorry, point of clarification. That was
Soothe.
Yeah. Yes.
Aw. Kira, you feel better.
Between Donovan, Anna, and Theo, could we figure out some sort of item or thing to put this Oscar spirit energy fire thing into? Or, because I'm really afraid of leaving there with it.
I think the best candidates you have for a thing to put it into are one of the Witchwood, or Mark's obsidian stone.
I mean, I like the latter.
The last one, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking maybe that, and then maybe we could combine it with one of Anna's abjuration spells to confine a monster to it so that it can't leave unless we remove it until we can maybe find a more permanent solution.
Okay.
Does that work for you, Mark?
Are you willing to let them use your obsidian?
I don't mean to ask without your permission, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, awesome.
Could I read a bad situation to make sure that, like, it'll be okay? Like, Mark will be okay?
You want to roll to see if everything will be okay.
Well, part of me was thinking, well, maybe astral vision will be helpful, but, like, I just want to...
It could. Roll it.
10.
Okay, choose.
I would like a clear vision, please.
You see the same scene happening in two different places. Flaming feet step through grass, killing and burning it as they go. You see the same thing happening elsewhere on, like, glass smooth stone that perfectly reflects the stars above. You see a female form on fire, standing on a floating island, looking out into a gorgeous, clouded sky. The clouds are white and fluffy. The birds are huge and happy. Then you see a male form, also on fire, looking out into an exquisite, nebula-bedecked nighttime sky. There are metal things flying in the air. You see them both in each place raise a single hand up to the sky. You see them close their eyes and erupt. The fire starts at their feet because of course it does. That's where they're connected to it. But the fire spreads into the air itself, igniting it. The fire knocks the birds out of the sky because their wings can't support them anymore. All their feathers have burned up. The metal things in the night sky turn white hot and melt, killing whatever's inside of them. The stars themselves burn. The clouds evaporate instantly into gas, into nothing. The blue of the sky turns a dull gray and then goes out completely. The night sky, with no stars to illuminate it, goes a dead black. And now nothing can get through. It's over. He won. And that's what you see.
I think it's going to be fine, guys.
I know we've beaten shit like that before.
Theo, like, wipes, like, her sleeve across her eyes. Just be careful with that, Mark. I saw a war ending and everything was black. Don't let it fall into the wrong hands.
It'll be safe with me.
And then I want Anna to help by putting the abjuration on the stones to seal it so that we have something to contain this until we have a more permanent place to put it.
What that'll involve is, like, it will remain the unmarred black stone, because I think you're just going to, like, sort of trace the circle and the sigils within it. You just have to make the shapes.
Yep. Okay. So we put it in it. Now, what was the thing? There was the two branches of that wood that was leading to the other portals.
Yes.
Back into our world. Does that mean we need to close them? Probably.
We're going to do the last choice will be which one to go to.
Do we know which one's which?
No.
I mean, are they like equidistant from us, or is one closer?
Is there anything different between the two of them?
Yeah.
I'm the worst. Elevation. One is high, one is low.
I vote high.
Sure. Let's do the high one. Around this time is maybe Gad and Lowry come walking up.
Yeah. Lowry has Gad, like, in a piggyback.
Oh. Kira will, like, make a beeline for Gad. And we'll just throw our arms around him.
Still attached to Lowry, so he's like, oh, I'm getting that this is a private moment.
I think Kira will let go and just be like, you're okay.
He will wipe his nose on Lowry's shoulder. I knew you'd come for me.
Oh. Yeah, here. And then I think she'll kind of relieve Lowry of his duties and will help Gad to where they need to go next.
Which is where?
The high road.
Then yeah, I think we will head to the high ground.
Theo is definitely saying to the charming coachman, I really thought you weren't coming. And she's getting into the coach.
Is Lowry and Mark are maybe sitting in the back?
Oh, Theo is like up against you, just like knocked the fuck out. Just like curled against you.
Oh, she just like gets in. I didn't think you were going to come. Climbs in after Mark, puts her head on his shoulder, and falls asleep immediately.
But yeah, I think Mark is gonna sit down with Lowry and Theo's there. So, you coming back with us?
Certainly not going to stay in the sea.
But I mean, are you coming back with us?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I know it's... I mean, maybe we can figure something out. Like, I don't know, but I mean, you've been jumping from head to head, like, I don't know. You doing okay?
I think he's going to chance a look at Anna. Yeah, I'm going to be okay.
And I think Mark puts his hand up to do like a little fist bump thing.
He's going to bump you back and be like, besides, you'll never make it out there without me.
I think he just I exhale for a long pause, and then I'm just like, yeah, you're probably right. And then he throws his arm around the back of him and Theo.
Do you mean like slow motion anime noise?
You're probably right.
I didn't like it when I thought of it, and I didn't like it when I said it.
The longest sigh he has done.
Okay, so the charming coachman will take you all, and you can sort of feel the tilt of the carriage as it does appear to go up a pretty big slope, and for a time it's going over some rough terrain indeed. He will pull to a stop, and then you hear like a grunt and then a slam on the side of the coach.
Okay, we'll hop out of the coach.
Okay.
Anna's like, we're here.
We are?
Yep. Time to go back to wait, no, other way around.
Narnia.
Time to go back to the real world. Leave Narnia.
Oh my God.
Yes, Johnny?
I'm deciding who to say what insulting thing to you. Ruby is going to turn to you and say, my God, she does read.
Actually, I love stories. Did I ever tell you about the time? Just like goes off on a story tangent. If we get out of the coach, anything like noticeably like causing alarm bells or anything, like can we see this portal at all?
Yes. So Mark and Theo, you can see the sort of like connective ethereal tissue between the Witchwood. One of its roots go off in the ground to somewhere else. Another of its roots are no longer in the ground. They are sort of connected directly at this like hovering circle of smoke. So like, you know, the smoke from like dry ice where it comes off and falls. It's that in a circle that's 5 feet in diameter. And Mark, you will sort of sense here the coachman prodding you towards that circle, the sensation of like loose there.
Like the grass bun there to here is loose and fading.
He doesn't use words, so it's hard to tell. I will say that this smoke here has the same feel and consistency and like temperature of the fog from around the thing in the park.
All right. Well, this is the place to go through.
I look back at you guys. You guys ready?
I'm ready for a bed.
I think Anna will be like, you coming? To Lowry.
Oh my God.
It's like a Pokeball. Just grab them and go.
Let's not make this weird. And he won't visibly jump into your head, but he will put a hand on your shoulder as you go through this portal.
And I think Mark turns on and goes, it was super effective.
Oh my God.
All right, let's go.
Oh my God, says Lowry.
I think when he steps inside, there's some noticeable color changes to the cabin. There's a lot of orange now. It's his favorite color.
Oh my God. And he will shake his head, and his now perfectly coiffed locks will sort of wag back and forth, and he will collapse into his bed and pull up a paperback book and start to read. The book is called Wild Hearts.
Theo says back to the charming coachman, don't be late next time. And then heads out with Mark.
You hear the incredibly distant, far away, maybe not even real neighing of horses. And then he snaps the reins that maybe aren't even there. And the coach just rides away. And you step through this portal and into a totally wrecked office. Really huge, open concept. You can see like some low-walled cubicle banks, a lot of them knocked over. Tons of like slashes in the ceiling, a bunch of the fluorescent bulbs hanging and like swinging back and forth, sparks flying out of all of them. Every wall is just lined 100% with windows. And you can see the like very vague beginnings of dawn coming over the horizon. And also scattered around are a bunch of bony figures, and they have, you know, very prominent sort of dorsal fins, and there's a lot of loose limbs that have these bony claws. But also walking around here, I think the first bit of movement you see is a very distinct black dog with a floating crown over his head, who's like kind of walking through the wreckage, checking some things, and then his ears perk up and he turns to look at you guys, and he trots over to Kira.
Hey Edgar.
The second piece of bit of movement that you see is sort of coming around a corner is this huge, I think the very sight of it makes all of you clench up, because this huge hulking figure with big shaggy hair and two huge horned spikes coming out of its stomach, it's one of the elementals.
Oh.
It like looks at you, its eyes kind of go wide, and it cocks its head to one side, and then it turns behind it, sort of running around the corner as though summoned by it, is Vanya.
Oh, she's back.
And she's like, holy shit, did you do it? Is it done?
Yeah, and I think Kira kind of like gestures to Gad, who is, I think she's kind of supporting up. She's like, we got him back. What happened here?
What's it look like?
It looks like you guys did some real damage. Everybody okay?
We kicked their fucking ass, Cap. And from behind you, you see baseball bats over her shoulder is Yuna.
Awesome. I knew you guys had it handled.
Well, wouldn't have been so easy without your monster boyfriend.
Yeah, where is he?
I don't like it when you call me a Hey.
Hey.
Oh my. Holy.
It's just covered in blood.
Yup.
It has a really bad scar on her like chest.
Oh my. He runs and he's just like inspecting you and sort of like feeling around for broken things.
Whoa.
What happened?
Feeling around.
It's medical.
Yeah.
Get a room.
I do think he will like be looking and see the scar running up your shoulder, and then he will look at Theo. Thank you.
What? Yeah.
And then he will throw his huge arms around you, dousing himself in blood.
I think she's trying very hard to not show that she's crying, and just kind of just silently.
We'll act under pressure.
Silently crying maybe into
see
his
about
shoulder.
that.
9.
He knows.
Yeah. And then she'll kind of pull back, and then I think she will actually look at Theo too and be like, yeah, and then looks over at Gad and back at Theo. Thank you.
Sure. Mark, could you bring me home?
Mark looks over at you, puts his arm around you. Let's go.
Tommy, as though just remembering something, will be like, oh, and like reach into his pocket and pull out his phone, tap it. Yeah, they're back. They did it. He like looks to you as though for confirmation.
Yeah.
Shut it.
Nick?
He's at the bar.
I see.
The other one. Not like to go to the bar.
There
was one at a bar.
I think Kira's just gonna like kiss him to shut him up. All right. Let's get us all home, eh?
Eh?
Yep. I'm Canadian, apparently.
Let's go home.
So Tommy is going to like very matter-of-factly. He will reach into his jacket and pull out kind of just looks like a little whetstone or something. It's like a sort of thin hunk of metal or stone, but he'll hold it in his hand like he's going to use it to punch something. Then he'll hold it out in front of himself and then take out a big chunky metal lighter, light it, and then hold it up to it. And then, like there was a line of gasoline in the air, this flame will just shoot from this stone in his hand. And then after it dissipates, there is a thin, curved white blade coming out of it, which he will use to cut/dig up this hunk of wood in this office.
Mm-hmm.
And as he does it and after he does it, the smoke and fog that had been lingering in this room will just sort of all dissipate. And he now has this like hunk of root. Too bad we don't have your friend who can send people to clean this kind of shit up. Huh. Someone's going to get a hell of a cleaning bill tomorrow. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
You will all have to pile into an elevator to get down. There's no elevator music, so you're just kind of like...
It's just like blinking like lights, fluorescence. Yeah.
I feel like Theo or Mark would definitely be like humming or whistling something.
Or Anna.
So what I would love is to end this scene on like Anna just being like, and then in the bed, one leg crossed over another, reading his book. Lowry is swinging his foot in time.
Oh my god, cute.
And then you all go home. There is one more thing that I want to do. Mark is bringing Theo home. Is that right?
Yep.
Theo, well, when Mark brings you home, there are unfamiliar cars in your family's driveway. They are all extremely expensive, as you've come to expect. It's like your family's cars, but different. It's weird.
It's a different brand.
Right. But it's like, I know that's rich because it looks like the kind of thing that my dad would drive, but I don't think my dad does drive it. So yeah, you kind of pull in and you see that. Do you want to go in alone, or am I going with you? Or what do you want to do?
I don't think I'm like qualified to
Yes,
go in
bring Mark.
No, guys.
Come on.
No, I am not subjecting my boyfriend to my family again.
Do it.
At least not right now. I'm way too tired. Theo will like kind of like shake her head out of her line of thinking that was starting to go from seeing all these cars. Maybe tomorrow or the next day could see you, get your help on something.
Yeah. You look concerned, and I don't know why. What's going on?
Oh, just I don't really recognize any of these cars, but my family has a lot of cars that kind of come for like meetings and stuff, so I'm not too worried.
Okay.
Theo, roll read a bad situation.
8.
You can place one of the cars. It helps that it has a vanity plate.
What does the vanity plate say?
It says Asteria. Asteria. And you know that this is the personal conveyance of an older member of the Maggio, a woman whose family name is Asteri, but most people call her Mother Asteri. In your interactions with her, well, not interactions because you wouldn't have interacted with her directly, but far as you can tell, she's like, I think the vibe that you get or like ascribe to her is that she's the kind of old that doesn't give a fuck. So she's a little like, she's snarky. You've seen her be snarky, which you like.
Okay.
So she's there.
I should be fine. It's probably just mother, father having some sort of meeting, or maybe Bennett is doing something.
If anything goes south, just give me a holler, all right? But
yeah,
if you're comfortable with it, then all right.
Honestly, I'm just going to try and take a hot shower and go to bed. But yes, I will.
All right. Have a good night, and I'm glad we made it back together.
Me too. Theo kisses you and then gets out.
Anime noise.
Theo, head inside.
Okay.
And she'll try and be as inconspicuous and like politely quiet as possible.
Where are you heading? You're just going to go straight to like your room?
Yeah. I'm just assuming that this is just usual family Maggio business. I'm the youngest Nessos, so why would I be included?
Okay. Yeah, I think the only thing that I kind of want to tell you is that, like, as you sort of walk through or past the kitchen, Deacon is seated there, like leaned back, feet still in boots, up on the table, eating pistachios and drinking some whiskey, and he kind of nods at you as you go past. But the up nod, because he's a prick. And then, yeah, you get to your bedroom, you lay out a fresh set of pajamas, you take yourself a nice long hot shower, and even though it is the very beginning of the day, you collapse into bed in a sleep, the peace of which you have not known in a long time. And you don't dream about anything. Executive producer Jonny Grubb. This has been The Monsters Playbook, featuring
John Wander as Mark Clayton.
Lauren Johnson as Anna and Kira Ashwood.
Miah Detjen Wander as Theo Nessos.
and Jonny Grubb as literally everybody else. Our theme song is by me, Jonny Grubb. The Monsters Playbook is produced and engineered by Miah Detjen Wander and edited by Miah Detjen Wander and Lauren Johnson. If you liked this episode, please tell a friend. We love friends. You can find the Monsters Playbook on the social network of your choice. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and now on Blue Sky. You can also hang out with us on Discord, and if you like what we're doing, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We'll see you next episode where, as always, I'll have some good news and some bad news. Thanks for listening. There is a kind of magic. Honestly, I think it's fully from the elves. It's like a sub-school.
The Keebler elves?
Yeah, the Keebler elves.
That they live in the Witchwood.
They make crackers and trap souls.
That's cool.
God damn it, that actually sounds dope.
You're welcome.